Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay and this is UCR Arts for Kids. In this series, we're learning about the history of photography and doing activities together that help us better understand early photography. Today, we're going to talk about something that pretty much everyone likes, movies. We're going to learn about the photographer who created the first motion picture, a man named Eadweard Muybridge. Then you're going to create your own motion pictures using two different methods, the flipbook and stop motion. Eadweard Muybridge was a photographer who first became famous for his photographs of American landmarks like Yosemite Valley. He actually ended up taking the photographs that led to the first motion picture because of a bet. A man named Leland Stanford, who owned racehorses, had a bet with other businessmen that all four of a horse's hooves came off the ground at once when galloping. The other men thought that at least one hoof was on the ground at all times. Stanford hired Muybridge to photograph a horse while galloping to prove his hypothesis. His idea was a hypothesis because it was an educated guess that still had to be proven. Muybridge's experiment was to set up 12 cameras along a racetrack. There were wires strung across the racetrack that were attached to each camera. When the horse ran through each wire, the corresponding camera took a picture. This meant that he would have a picture of each phase of the horse's movement. Stanford invited the businessmen as well as the press to watch Muybridge's experiment in action, and it worked. Not only did Muybridge prove that the horse's hooves came completely off the ground at the same time when galloping, but he also created the first photographs of motion. Later, Muybridge invented a device called the zoopraxiscope to turn the still photographs into a motion picture. He did this by transferring the images onto a glass disc. The images were then projected from the disc onto a surface. When the disc was spun, it showed the images in rapid succession, therefore creating a motion picture. Muybridge became obsessed with these photos of motion, called chronophotography, and used this method to capture different animals and humans in motion. These photographs were very helpful to both artists and scientists who wanted to study human and animal bodies in motion. His discoveries eventually led to the invention of motion pictures, or movies, that we watch today. Now that you've learned how the first motion picture was created, you can make your own. The first way we're going to do this is with a flipbook. Here's a flipbook of Muybridge's photographs. For a flipbook, all you will need is several note cards, or you can cut up small pieces of cardstock, a binder clip, and a pencil. First, decide what you want your motion picture to be about. A cat walking? A flower growing? A car racing? Mine is going to be a fish jumping. For the first piece of paper, draw the first thing you would see in that motion. For each page after that, draw the next phase of that motion. The smaller the movements and the more piece of paper, the longer and more realistic your motion picture will be. Here's mine. For your second motion picture, we're going to create a stop motion video. For this, you will need some sort of moldable clay, a surface, and a phone or tablet with a camera and a stop motion app. There are a lot of free and inexpensive stop motion apps you or an adult can download for you. Again, decide what you want your motion picture to be about. My son and I decided to create one about an octopus eating a taco. I made the octopus and he made the taco. Then we broke down each motion by moving the clay slowly and taking a picture after each movement. At the end, we uploaded the pictures to a stop motion app, which created the video. Here's our octopus eating a taco movie. Just like Muybridge, you guys made motion pictures by creating still images, then animating them. If you post your videos on social media, be sure to tag us at UCR Arts. Thank you for joining me and stay tuned for our next video.